Hi guys, this is Breaker, and it looks like I'm casting a game between two Masters League players. Two Masters League Terrans at that. I went ahead and downloaded this from Reddit's Cast It forums for SC2. And let me go ahead and introduce both players. Okay, so spawning in the upper left-hand corner is our Terran in the red trunks. It appears to be KTV adrd. And in the lower right-hand corner, we have DJHelium. Now, I'm not entirely sure what server this was played on, but of course, you know, I'm open to seeing new kinds of strategies, anything being employed, really. But, you know, there's some things I gotta stress about. Like, there's a lot of differences between servers. For example, let me think here. I have a friend who is Diamond League on the Korea and Taiwan server, but he plays on the Chinese server sometimes, and when he does, he is actually he got ranked as grandmasters on the mainland Chinese server. So rather interesting. Of course, you do have to have a Chinese ID to get a a Chinese account. I've got connections, so I know how to actually get one, and I do have one myself. It is the world's cheapest account, but yeah. Now, this is rather interesting. We actually have an extremely early gas coming from, you know, adrd here. DJHelium just now taking his. It wasn't reactionary or anything of that nature. Both players kind of going at it blind for the time being, but of course, DJHelium having the gall to send out an SCV first and scout his opponent, see what he's up to. Neither player's barracks is yet finished. They're both going to be finished at about the same time. adrd will be ahead in gas supply, so let's just see what he's going to do here. We do have a second barracks going down by him at some location or another. Oh, it's actually, I don't know, is the SCV going to see that? Let's see. No, it actually does not. So clever, clever, clever. We actually have adrd with the impression that this is going to be a normal opener. What I think could happen is we could possibly see two Reapers being cranked out. This is actually going to be a bit more of a surprise than what DJHelium was prepared for. He's going to have a Marine placed right here in a defensive position, and just what are we going to see from him in the near future? Is it going to be a follow-up with, say, a factory? Yes, it will be. First Reaper is out. Let's just see where he's going with this. The China server, yeah, I want to say one of the... It's got some of the largest skill discrepancies in the world. I don't know how else to say it. I remember I was Gold League rank 1 with an account that I had before, and then I was facing off against Masters rank 1 players after a few games that I had won. First Reaper comes over here and sees that it can't really get up there without losing itself. And there's a second Reaper on the way. And it looks like behind this we have adrd going for his Expo, which is a little bit more than what we can say for DJHelium presently, but he is following this up with double gas. His aim is to kill workers in the near future. Yes, we have the 1-1-1 opener, semi-classical, and I'm just wondering where is it going to go from here? Alright, so Reapers are up here, and it looks like, oh boy, 2 Reapers, now just 1. Poor guys. Alright, so the reactor is tacked on, and now we see adrd actually taking a second gas. He's like, okay, this is looking like a 1-1-1. Let's see what he knows. Yeah, he knows that there's something building back there. He can assume that's the starport. 2 Reapers versus 3 Marines. 3 Marines win. There's no medevacs out yet, so these Reapers will eventually be able to get in once their combat drugs allow them to heal fully. But we're going to have this forward Reaper kind of taking, and that's not good. We actually have some Hellions coming out. Ooh, and it looks like we just have 1 Hero Reaper that's going to make it home today. Checking units lost right now. That is a lot of resources. That is 50-50 for each Reaper. 50 gas, 50 minerals, and you know, it's just not working out for adrd. You know, his opener, I wouldn't say it was crappy. It wasn't. He certainly went in with the right mentality, but unfortunately he just didn't get enough damage done to his opponent, and now he's kind of biting the dust with that. Presently, we see that both workers are astoundingly, both sides are astoundingly even in the worker count, but that will continue to change as we do have the orbital command about to finish up for for our Red Terran adrd. Medevac is going to go into the main with some Hellions, and are we going to see adrd hold against this? Let's find out. You know, you can see the Medevac right now. He's positioning the Marines and the Marauders to deal with whatever's coming out. He's trying to get them to attack it, and now there's a missile turret going down in the natural, and Helium's just like, great, I have to make something happen. Here it is. I don't think they've gotten a single worker kill yet. SCVs appropriately have been pulled. And this can actually be quite dangerous. Widow Mine going down, but it looks like... Oh, come on, they were so close to getting a kill there. It looks like... Oh, no workers will be dying today. No, sir. Just one from the beginning, and I think that was a scout. Maybe one from earlier, and we have... This is quite interesting, a Raven follow-up from DJHelium. Both players are relatively even in worker count. Yes, still. So income will not be that big of an issue in the near future for either of them. It's just how they play out their tech paths that matters the most right now. And adrd moving out for some immediate retaliation against his opponent. What he doesn't know is that his opponent actually has control of this watchtower, and he sees that there's a tank coming his way. Meanwhile, his own tank, his own first tank out and on the way, and now I see why the Raven was produced. It was actually to deal with any, what's the word I'm looking for? It's actually there to deal with any Widow Mines that may be coming out. Here it is, burrowed in a forward position. We do have one tank. It's actually going to be in a rather defensive position, not a forward one at that. I can appreciate this, considering he actually has no air units to scout for his, tank. Raven kind of over here, looking for a position to throw down a... Oh my god, a Raven's Hunter Seeker missile. Didn't quite destroy the tank, and we have an SCV coming back here for repairs. Yes, it looks like they got a bit of a nerf since Wings of Liberty. They were quite overpowered back in the day. Of course, we also have adrd just basically, you know, geniusly spreading out his units, trying to prevent that damage from going down. And Helium actually has control of the skies right now. We're going to have to see some retaliation relatively soon for this to work out for adrd. Vikings just sitting here like, okay, well, I can see what you're doing, and I don't have to waste any more scans. But I'm thinking this scan went down by adrd. He is presently supply blocked, so that's not going to help him too much. He could call down a supply drop, but there you go, Viking versus Viking. Marines getting in, some pepper spray, not pepper spray, but rather some peppering some attacks, and it looks like Helium was a bit nervous to engage there, so he's just going to pull back for now. Doesn't want to overcommit to anything. Smart move, but kind of paves the way for a longer macro game, and I'm wondering just how this is going to pan out. Is it going to be like MLG Anaheim, where we have a 72-minute long game? We could wait and see. Now we have Stimpack being researched by DJHelium. He doesn't have combat shields yet. And speaking of, Stimpack has actually been finished for adrd for a while. The DPS, I think if they had chosen to engage there, the DPS would have strongly favored adrd. You know, it's that extra, what is it, that extra 25% attack speed that we see adrd getting with that. Double gas going down at the natural for DJHelium. Just now going down for adrd. It's going to finish for Helium faster, so we'll see that he's going to have a slight gas income lead, and just, you know, just little minute details like this can actually make the difference in a game. You know, whether or not a Terran uses this or that scan, it really makes a difference, because it paves the way for whether or not he's got the production to keep up with his opponent, the mules, so on and so forth. It really makes a difference. Speaking of difference, how are we going to see adrd to kind of, you know, compensate for the damage that he took earlier? You know, it wasn't really so much damage that he took compared to his opponent, but you know, it's still worth highlighting. Oh, and here we have a point defense drone, and it looks like adrd is just concerned with burning it for the time being. But of course, one Viking, 1 point defense drone will beat 2 Vikings any day. Both players painfully even. I think they are both oblivious to the situations that they are in right now. Radar tower going down here, and it looks like that's still not going to deter adrd from trying to throw down a medevac drop. Behind this we see Helium going for his own medevac drop at the 3rd, and it looks like we're going to see adrd basically pull back and try and deal with that. Then again, reinforcing units here should be more than enough to clean it up, assuming they all drop one at a time, and we see adrd immediately pulling back. He's like, yes, I don't need my multitasking, multitasking getting taxed today. The medevac does get shot down, and now we see Helium's taking heavier losses now. But I mean, of course, it's the will to continue that counts, that matters the most. We do have a scan going down somewhere. I'm trying to figure out just where it went down. Of course, that is the only problem that I have with Heart of the Swarm right now. If a scan went down, you can hear it no matter where you are looking at. And, oh, it looks like we're going to have both players kind of move into an engagement here. And here we have adrd sieging up, kind of defensively. And Helium not quite sieged up, but it's okay. Both players kind of breaking away with minimal losses. Vikings moving forward, trying to assert their territory over other Vikings. Oh boy, one Viking does get misclicked and ends up flying into that line of Marines, and right now we still have adrd behind all that, coming out with a superior Viking count. His main goal right now is killing the heir of his opponent. Only one Viking left for adrd. Ouch! It does get shot down, so now he's got basically nothing from the sky that can scout aside from a couple of medevacs. This Marine's just gonna sit down right here and go to town on that, not orbital command, but rather that, planetary, fuck, what the hell is wrong with me today, guys? It's not a planetary, it's a command center. And this is actually going to put DJHelium a little bit behind in terms of income. Both players' mains are going to get mine dry relatively soon. There it is. We actually have adrd moving into the position between the main and the natural of his opponent, and that's just a beautiful siege up. Of course, these tanks are actually sieged up in an appropriate position, and the question is just who's going to prevail over this. You know, it just looks so close, and the Marines will soon be able to move into adrd, and it looks like adrd, you know, he bit the dust right there. He's significantly far behind right now. Like, if you just want to measure army supplies right now, upgrades, I don't want to exactly go there, but sure, why not? Both Helium actually has +1/+1 already, and adrd only has +1. So that could have been what counted against him in that Marine engagement. And now we have an all-in coming from adrd. That's actually, I think that is an appropriate reaction. But it's not like we're not going to see the same thing from DJHelium relatively soon. Yes, there it is. He's going for an all-in, all the same. And it's just, this is reminding me a bit of the fight between Agent Smith and Neo in the Matrix Revolutions. Yes. But the question is, who's going to have, you know, more bases left over after all of this? We have the income, you know, basically Helium, he's trying to crank out as many units as he can in as many different directions as he can. He's pulling SCVs right now to deal with what's in his main. He may just be able to deal with it aptly, but right now with the choke, this is definitely not working in his favor. SCVs being put into attack mode, and we have a tank left over in all of this. Income, of course, for both players has gone to shambles. And now we have adrd doing the smart move, trying to rebuild all of his infrastructure over here while he still can. You know, Helium is actually up in supply right now, barely, but still. And army supply is no exception. If these, you know, if the infrastructure is allowed to finish building right here, we're gonna see that Helium's gonna be in a lot of trouble. And here we go. He's kind of moving out here into the natural. He's actually more concerned with destroying the natural than he is trying to find infrastructure. And it looks like these SCVs are not going to make it back home today. That's a lot of income we're going to see adrd without. And now the orbital command is kind of lifting off and moving into a different position. Not going to quite pan out for him. And this orbital command just burned down. It was not attacked. And now it seems that the priority of adrd has switched to destroying this planetary fortress ASAP. I think he could move all his Marines into it, but that's not going to happen right now. He's basically stuck on slow mode trying to kill that. Orbital command, of course, over here is floating down to the south. This orbital command could pick up and move into the main, I guess, and try and harvest some more minerals. Planetary Fortress does finally fall. It took some A-moving of Marines into that, and it looks like an orbital command has been floated back into the main for Helium. And right now, everything that we've got in terms of supply is tied up in army supply. If we see Helium go toe-to-toe with ADRD's main army, or what's left of it, it's just not going to end in his favor. There's one barracks left here at the top. I don't think we're going to see a lot of production. But here we go. This is kind of a base race, and we have ADRD A-moving into Helium. And Helium coming back behind him. You know, this actually wasn't that bad. ADRD actually has left the game, unfortunately, without even so much as a GG. Helium, good game, good job, sick game. I'm going to upload this to YouTube and give it a shot on Reddit. Catch you guys later. Thanks for watching.